This is Katy.
And this is Patience.
And we're Gummy Buddies. I just realized how everyone that's going to be watching is going to get to see what you're like.
I keep forgetting when I have to watch, I literally watch your mouth for you to say, and when you start going, I'm like, okay, it's my turn.
I didn't realize how difficult it was.
Yeah, I'm not with good
If we flipped it around, you're not with good cues. I know.
Stop it.
Hey, there's the laughing. It's going to go really well tonight.
Second.
Yes.
Okay, so.
All right, first thing.
Pecans, murder, pecans, first thing. Yes!
I was supposed to high five you.
Wait.
Oh.
I can't get rid of the gummy. I was going to eat it. I have an eating problem. Okay, so the winner of our scuttlebutt.
We're very proud.
If you didn't enter, well, you suck.
Yeah, go with the program.
We put it in our last episode. I don't remember the timestamp, but
I do. It was 49:37 to 39.
Nice.
So I just looked right at the light and I'm blind.
Pecans, murder, pecans.
Gotta stop.
So our winner for that little mini contest is Chris.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations, Chris.
He's our good friend who always listens to our podcast. That's so sweet of you.
Very sweet.
And then our runner-up, we made a runner-up because it's one of our good friends. Her name's Paige.
Shout out to Paige. We love you. We're very grateful to you.
It just made us so happy.
Yeah, it made our day, honestly. That's the most interaction out of the hundreds of submissions.
So I'm going to pick Chris's prize, and then Katie's going to send something to Paige as a separate thing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And we're just going to do that. I think it was fun. We might do another one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just see how it goes.
Yes. So we are very grateful again. Thank you so much. If you want to keep an eye out for any contests like that or announcements, we are on TikTok. We just posted a review of
the Boom Boom Sticks.
The Boom Boom Sticks. Who? You guys?
Oh, I didn't realize I did the mint one.
Yeah. And this one's a softer mint, though, so it might not be as bad. This is winter mint. It smells sweeter, kind of like
I'm telling you, the mint one, you just feel it in your throat more than your nose.
Yeah.
And it burns.
There's another one, the lavender one, that went missing because of...
no children.
Definitely not. Did not run away with the Boom Boom Stick. But honestly, I didn't even want the lavender one, so if that's the one that's going to be missing, I'm okay with it. Next on our agenda, our week.
Oh. The week went okay. It was my first time having a Tuesday off, so I didn't work my normal 50 hours.
Yeah, that's right.
But today, we're recording on Friday the 13th in June.
Circle. I'll say why.
Oh. So mysterious. My day today was not... people were getting mad at me, left and right, and I'm like...
I heard you ranting to TJ about a lawyer, and I was like, okay.
That's about,
just nonsense with work.
something that is going on in the world.
Oh, mysterious.
The whole ICE thing.
Oh.
They're gonna be coming to my work, and I, have to be prepared, and they're like, obviously don't share patient information. I'm like, well, no, duh.
Yeah.
But they're like, this is what you can do, and
it's
she's
bad
like...
times.
She's like, you don't have to talk. You're right to a legal lawyer, and okay,
it's freaking scary. Everything's scary right now. Yeah. Ugh,
so yeah,
I was
just like, okay, let's just add that to the icing on the cake today.
Icing.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
not a good fun. Anyway,
otherwise the week, other than let's see other things. Let's think of positive things. There was the giant plane crash where one man lived. Hundreds of people died, but one man lived. So we got that going for us in the world. It's been not a great week. I'm not gonna lie.
What's one positive thing?
One positive thing.
I don't watch the news.
Where's the crickets?
They're going.
I mean, the one man did survive. That's positive.
Is that even that great? I wish I would have just died.
I mean, for him, I would think.
I would have
honestly, yeah,
died.
the survivor's guilt would be... Ooh, I can't even.
I feel like... They said, he got up and he walked to an ambulance. That,
yeah. It's crazy.
I would have rather just died.
There's another survivor story from a plane crash where somebody like fell from crazy high and they were the only survivor. And it was this girl. It was like a teenager. It was in like the rainforest somewhere in South America, I think. Anyways, Morbid did an episode on them, and it was so cool hearing her story. Like terrifying, but so cool that she survived and made it. Yeah.
So, if you have any good news, share it with us.
Yeah, we want to hear it. We like good news.
I feel like we talk a lot about death and bad things.
Excuse me. Yeah. Yes, we do.
That's depressing. Welcome to the depression episode. We're the 1920s.
Yes. I think that's it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
We only had a purple and a green. So we only have a purple left. And then we were done with this jar as well.
With this jar, and then we gotta get a new jar before they take it away. I'm scared the government's gonna take away our gummies. This is Delta 9. This is what they look like. It's like a...
Oh, we're recording our first ever face episode.
We're trying it, so...
We're trying
This may be what it looks like. We'll see if you actually see it. We just cut it in half. It comes like this size. We cut it in half. Yeah.
Ready?
Clink.
I have to watch you eat it. It makes me feel good.
Okay. Now that we're done chewing, I'm like leaning weirdly. Now that we're done chewing, it's time for...
Previously on Gummy Buddies.
Previously on Gummy Buddies, Patience definitely knew who the Tudors were, and she's just gonna say who they were.
They were British monarchs who ruled England and Wales from 1485 to 1603.
Oh, that was a long time. I didn't know how long they ruled.
It showed me the tree. There was a lot of people. A lot of incest.
Lots of Tudors. Great TV show. Lots of sex. Again, lots of sex. Loved it. Okay. And then have there ever been like two queens in one country?
So we couldn't find an instance where there were two queens. But when I looked up lesbian queens, it says the Queen Anne of Great Britain. Queen Anne's close and long-lasting relationship with Sarah Churchill, Duchess of Marlborough, is often cited as evidence of her lesbianism or romantic relationships with women.
Oh, very nice.
That's pretty interesting.
Okay.
You go, girl.
Wesley, what are crumpets? Some kind of tea cake thing, but I don't know.
It's a type of griddle cake. It is similar to a thick pancake.
Girl, we gotta make crumpets and try them.
They don't look that good to me.
But pancakes.
They look very dry.
Really?
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We're gonna try crumpets. I'm gonna look for a high, like, tea time in Omaha. There's gotta be somewhere. Someone that's got it.
We should just throw your Dinah
Oh,
apron
and make
on.
crumpets.
And make something.
Genius.
We're out of cookies, apparently.
Tyler took one and he was like, I'm taking one of the last cookies. And I was like, thanks for rubbing it in my face that there's one cookie left. It's fine. It's not like I wanted unlimited cookies for tonight. Honestly, I'd probably regret it tomorrow and they get really sick and throw up. So, yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, I'm not nervous for my topic.
Explain that you had to cut part of your topic because it was too long.
I did. I bit off more than I could chew. And I was like, I wanted to do this thing, this theme. Patience has no idea, as always, what the topic is. So, I'm just going to dive in.
I'm excited. You know what? Okay,
and the thing I moved has to do with, like, planes and stuff, too. And I was like, nope,
So something I'm really worried about is my topic that I'm using for next week, or my next turn. I've been writing it.
I wish it was next week.
It's like almost 4 or 5 pages. I'm terrified that there will be a time that I do that again, and it's your topic that you picked, and I prepared too much.
Oh,
and
do it too far ahead of time.
I'll be really sad. Kind of like the dial-out pass.
Got you. I you vaguely knew what it was.
But I didn't write my story yet, which was fine. But like, I'm really worried that like this one, not that saying you're going to do this topic today,
I don't usually pre-prepare, so usually you're fine. But yeah, if you go too far ahead then, and I accidentally pick it, it's a problem. It hasn't happened yet.
My next one's going to be a lot better. It has a lot more mystery and like questioning involved. Okay. It kind of makes us feel like detectives almost.
Oh, I like that.
So I'm impressed with Me
yourself.
actually like going forward and not writing it last
Okay,
minute.
so I'm just gonna scroll. This is my notes.
Okay.
So not crazy, but
Not crazy.
I reined it in a little. And there, I did do shorthand in a couple little sections that I didn't do a verbatim thing. So we'll
Okay.
see.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, how superstitious would you say you are?
Ooh. Like, that's like
We forgot to write our clink time. Clink time.
like 5 minutes ago.
I have
7?
my glasses on.
It's only been 16 minutes, so
Okay.
let's... I would say like at 10:30.
10:30. All right, I'll just leave that to you.
Let me set our timer too.
Okay. So, I'm sorry. What was your number?
Okay, so superstitious is like a black cat walking under a ladder. Okay, I don't any of those things not superstitious about. The only thing is like sometimes I feel like when I speak things into existence, like they happen. That's the only thing. So maybe a 4. I don't really feel like if I see a black cat,
I would have given you a higher number than a 4. So I'm surprised.
I don't know like the general like superstitious things besides like the ladder, the cat, stepping on a crack.
I think you're kind of like, you're the type of person that if you experience it once, obviously you're going to be more superstitious about it. However, like, you're not going to take it as gospel unless you actually have some sort of personal experience with it.
Right.
So I would say I'm probably like a 2 or a 3. Just for giggles, I go along with superstitions for fun, but it's not because I'm a believer, really. It's just because I think it's like, it's just fun. And it's kind of like a case of why take the risk? If there's any, it's like if there's any truth to it at all, why bother, risking certain things. So tonight, I'm going to need you to cross your fingers for me.
That's actually very hard for me to do.
Really? Special. You look like a lobster. You're like, night.
There's some people who can like do it and they like instantly can,
like that.
F you.
Like that. I'm gonna need you to knock on wood for me. And grab your good luck charms. Because I'm going to attempt to do it all. We're gonna do a little bit of history. We're gonna do a little bit of crime. A little bit of education.
Ooh.
All of it.
I like education.
It's especially ironic because Patience came to me the other day and she was just chatting with me about doing like separate short stories for YouTube and stuff. And I had already planned on doing a little culmination of different short things for my theme. And so when you came up to me and said that, I was like, she doesn't know.
Yes, I did.
I had this little cluster of them in my pocket for tonight and I couldn't tell you.
As a future thing that we might start doing, we have some new videos up on our Patreon. I think that we find topics that are sometimes just long that we like to do for episodes, but then we find really short stories that could make a little cute mini series. Either we're high or we're not high. We haven't decided that yet, but we'll eventually like gonna do a mini series. I would like to do one because I have such little mini topics that she can find stuff to put them into. I can't, but I still like the mini series. So stay tuned. That'll happen. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we want to do more content. We have fun doing this. So, yeah. And we're practically the same person, so of course you thought of that when I was literally doing
That's so
that.
weird. Freaks me out. The twin
the
flame
manifesting.
thing.
All right.
Is that a superstition? Is a twin flame considered a superstition?
No,
Too many
I don't
words.
think so. I think it's just
Okay.
well, then again, manifesting is just a belief that's kind of a superstition in a way. I don't know. What qualifies?
The more we learn.
Buckle up. Because in honor of today, Friday the 13th, the only Friday the 13th in this entire year, we are going to talk about the history of this day and some crazy, tragic, and fascinating things that have happened over the years on this, the most unluckiest of days. Unless you're like Patience and me who have unlucky days every single day. So.
True.
Ugh.
Preach.
What do you think is the unluckiest thing that's ever happened to you?
Unlucky?
Mm-hmm. It happens so often, it's hard to pinpoint.
I don't know. I really can't think of anything that's like...
I just feel like I'm incessantly unlucky in small, annoying ways. But maybe that's just me having anger management problems.
You want to know my one lucky thing today?
Oh, okay.
I just picked up our groceries, and I stopped at Hy-Vee so I could get our fruit for snack time, and I picked up a case of pop. I had two things. Well, they're like self-checkout things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The self-checkouts were like, I don't know, going off. They weren't like working.
Oh.
So I was standing in the long lines where like someone actually checks you out at Hy-Vee. And this lady, I'm just minding my own business. Just kind of like wanting to get home so we can do stuff. She's like, excuse me? You can go ahead of me.
Oh.
And I was like, oh no, it's okay. She's like, you have 2 items, dear. It's okay.
That's sweet.
And there was like someone checking out in front of her who had like still a few things. I was like, are you sure? I don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, no, I'm retired. I have nothing else to do. And she let me go in front of her in the checkout line. And I was like, that is actually so sweet. Because
that is sweet.
That rarely ever happens, I feel like, in my case.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to like repay the favor to her. And I felt bad. And she's just sitting there like doing her own thing behind me. And she had like a lot of like heavier stuff in her cart. So I like put it up on the belt and stuff. But I was like, thank you so much. And I was like, you don't know how much that actually made my day. Because I even got off work early. Mm-hmm. So I could go pick up the groceries. And I was like,
that is nice.
I feel
there are good people in the world if you look very few and far between.
I feel like that's like a lucky thing that happened that was like unlucky and then it turned to lucky. I don't know.
We'll go with it. Why not? Leprechauns, full circle. All right, so now I would like you to read this word aloud for the people.
Oh, God. You're disgusting.
Oh my gosh, my evil laugh just looks so weird.
Okay. Parskavidcatriophobia. Parskavidcatriophobia. Triphobia.
Cat tree.
Okay, hold on, I'm getting it. Something about being afraid of parasites. Vika. Vodka.
Steam coming out of your vodka.
I know it says triophobia at the end.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How do you pronounce it?
Paraskevidacatriophobia. That's how I would pronounce it. I don't even know if that's right. There's also frigatriscatacaphobia.
The first one has to be being scared of parasites.
Those are actually both terms for fear of Friday the 13th.
Oh.
Yeah. So, that's that. Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of the number 13.
Do any of our listeners have a fear of Friday the 13th?
Send us a Gmail at
gummybuddyspodcast@gmail.com.
And you don't even need to laugh when you're writing the email. Okay. So here's a fun fact that I didn't know. This day occurs at least once every single year, and there can be only up to 3 Friday the 13th in an entire year. And I didn't know it had a limit. Like, to be honest, it kind of feels like it happens more often than that, but apparently there can only be 3 in a year. So I guess that's a thing. So tell me, Patience, do you have any idea why a day like today is considered unlucky? Would you care to take a guess why it's even, like, why do we think it's unlucky? Why is the ice maker possessed?
Your son. Hold on. I'm freaking out. I'm having a freak out moment. I was like, the 13th. Where did we just talk about that? Your son the other day was telling me why the 13 is unlucky. He's like, and I quote, he goes, because there's a lot of things in 12s. And I was like, yeah? Like what? And he's like, well, there's 12 days in a month. And
yes.
Then he was like,
well, not 12 days in a month, 12 months in a year.
Yes, the 12 months in a year.
12 hours, twice in a day.
And so he was talking about it, and I was like, yep. And there's also 12, there's 12 eggs in a dozen. And I was like, that was the only thing I could come up with. And, but I was like, but why is 13 bad? And he couldn't give me the reason why. Mm-hmm. But it's really funny because we were just talking about that.
That's great. I love that.
Go, Kaden.
Yeah.
But I do not know why 13 would be unlucky. Is it because it is a sacred number of just getting off of an even?
Well, and you're right on, like, you're hot on the topic, because there is an argument that 12 is considered, like, the perfect number because of all those reasons. 12 hours, twice in a day, 12 months in a year. So you are definitely, like, on point with that. But there's a lot of reasons why people think 13 in general is unlucky.
Okay, question.
Answer.
For you,
Mm-hmm.
what would be your unlucky number? If you had to pick, like, 0 to 100.
I don't know. I don't really have an unlucky number that I can think of.
73.
Are you assigning me an unlucky number? How dare you manifest that? I'm gonna turn 73 and croak. Thanks, patience.
Dude, imagine, and this was, like, the evidence. Superstitious. My unlucky number? Why does it have to be odd? Why can't it be even? I'm gonna be...
Yes, villager number 3.
Shut up. I am 38. Now I'll die at 38.
Did you purposely pick a lower number so you die sooner?
Yeah.
Well, research can go into biblical references about there being 13 guests at the Last Supper of Jesus Christ.
Oh.
So that's a big reason why people say it's unlucky. And similarly, there's actually Norse lore about Loki being the 13th guest at a banquet that ended in chaos and tragedy. So another banquet with 13 guests that went awry. At one point, witch covens were said to be made of 13 people. One quote I read actually, so this one actually gave me chills a little bit. I thought it was really good. Are you ready?
Yeah.
A park ranger at Fort Smith Historic Site once said, "There were 13 steps on the gallows, 12 up and 1 down." And I was like, ooh,
Oh.
that's ominous. And it was actually rumored that many gallows did indeed have 13 steps. Although that particular fact isn't verified anywhere that I can find, but it does make for an interesting tidbit, don't you think?
Isn't there that movie called 13 Ghosts?
Yes, there is. Mm-hmm. Great
I'm
movie.
proud of myself.
They're doing a remake of it, supposedly, or like a TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to watch that. Is that out already?
I don't
Previously
think
on Gummy Movies. We gotta Google it.
so. My knee just popped.
We're not falling apart. You're gonna die by the time you're 38.
Yeah. Series.
My knees went downhill and I'm about to be 36. Just
She
saying.
does not have Hashimoto's. That's a fun update for you. No. She does not. She has osteoarthritis.
I don't have osteoarthritis. I have chronic inflammatory arthritis.
Oh.
Get with the program.
Okay.
Actually, maybe not. I don't even know. I see the doctor next week. Stay tuned for the important update you really wanted to know about my knees. So, yes, the number 13 has definitely grown a reputation over the years, especially in Western culture. So much so that according to the Stress Management Center and Phobia Institute in Asheville, North Carolina, more than 80% of high-rise buildings in the United States don't have a 13th floor.
What?
They skip it and don't label the 13th floor. I knew that about some buildings, but I had no idea it was over 80%. That's wild to me. So maybe architects are particularly superstitious. I like the Michael Scott quote where he's like, "I am a little stitious." He's like, "I'm not superstitious."
Katy showed me the TikTok video of the
The
cheerleaders
Oh
with
my
the Twin
gosh,
Towers.
It was.
Do you think the Twin Towers had 13 floors? What if, like, that's why they crashed?
Because it had a 13th floor. I don't think that's why. I'm pretty sure it had to do with some other guys involved. Jeez. All right.
You said the 13? Can we confirm?
Those guys were born on the 13th day of the 13th.
Twin Towers. Oh, okay. I have a really off topic.
Okay.
It's really off, but it relates to the Twin Towers.
Okay.
Okay.
Lay it on me.
Recently, the FBI director,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know his name, can't quote it,
Mm-hmm.
posted a picture on Instagram of these numbers made out of seashells in the sand. And he's like, look what I just came across. And it was like some number. And basically the number is like the impeachment code for Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, I read about that it was
And
like
then-
all over Twitter and
And then they were like, and then he's like, I don't know, I didn't do it. Like, I don't know how it got there. Then those numbers were the exact days that the Twin Towers got hit.
Really?
It was like 8,467 days.
Weird.
And he's like, I don't know. Don't know how I got there. And everyone was like,
I know that there's
confused.
he was supposedly going to be arrested for threatening the president and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, politics just
I was
give
like,
me the ick because
I was like, but what if
all
it
the crap
was
going on.
just there? Like, do you think he actually did it?
No, I think he did it. I don't know. I don't even know the guy. I'm just gonna assume that he.
Don't give him the benefit of the doubt. It's fine. But yeah, I was like, that's kind of crazy. That's as long as the Twin Towers. That's feels like a long time ago.
2001. I literally just looked at the calendar to see, looked at my computer to see what year it was. Okay, so we got the 13 thing covered. There's a few different reasons why 13. There's 13 reasons why 13 is. But why Fridays? Well, apparently they've been considered the unluckiest of days for hundreds of years, and Fridays were even known as Hangman's Day in Britain for some time, as this was the allotted day for prisoners to walk to the gallows and realize their execution. Christ himself was crucified on a Friday. Sacrilegious although it may be, I can't find a reason to hate the day at all, given the fact that I am finally off of work for the week and I'm munching on the devil's lettuce with my bestie.
I feel like if I had to pick a day, it would be Tuesdays.
Oh, like an unlucky day?
Yeah. Tuesdays for me.
Tuesdays?
Well, no, now I got a day off, so.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe hump day, because people are like, happy hump day, we got it through halfway of the week. I'm like, shut up, there's still another day.
There's still 2 days left to
There's
work.
a Thursday. Did you forget about Thursday? One of those two.
I didn't forget about Thursday.
Actually, I feel like it's very superstitious that Mondays are always considered
Mondays,
a bad day.
Mondays always. In case of the Mondays suck.
That would be a superstition.
Yeah.
Right? Look at me go. Oh. I gain IQ levels.
All right. So now what I'd like to do is I'd like to briefly go over some of the unlucky and tragic events of history that are associated with this day. All right?
Poor people.
And before we do that, maybe it's a good time for a level check. We haven't been in for long, so it's totally...
Level check.
I'm a 0.5, I think. I'm mildly feeling it, but still very well with it. At least I think I am. I knew you were, but what am I?
I might be a 0.5.
You're hyper-focused, so I would say you're at least a 0.5.
I just did something really special in my journal. It just looks nice.
Did you draw another fish?
No. I actually wrote the time and then our level, so we remember what time we started with a level check.
Very good.
I also, to be fair, I did not eat dinner yet. I've only had my lunch since today.
I see.
So we'll see how that goes. We might have to
stay tuned.
Snack it up.
There't nothing wrong with snacking it up. You a snack.
So snack it up.
Snack it up, I'm fat. All right. The mass arrest. Sorry. Number 1 in history that I am going to start with. The mass arrest, torture, and execution of over 600 members of the Knights Templar began on Friday, October 13th, 1307. King Philip IV of France got some notes. Someone sent him these notes that was like, hey, the Templars, they're doing black magic, they're having these sex parties and rituals, and they're doing all this freaky stuff. And supposedly, King Philip got this note, and he was like, oh, we gotta arrest them all, we gotta investigate this, we can't, these are people representing the Lord, we can't have that. So, arrested them, killed them, basically disbanded the whole organization.
Because of sex?
Because of their wrongdoings. But the Knights Templar, they were richy rich boys in their cool club. So they had like these castles, they had tons and tons and tons of money. So wouldn't it be convenient for King Philip to just seize all those assets for himself and just say it's for them doing bad stuff?
Shut up.
Uh-huh. Did you just poop a pen?
I need it.
Let me relax worked. Hang on.
You're so much more limber. You should see her in the bedroom.
Thanks for that. All right.
Think
I am limber. You're welcome.
Prince Philip?
King Philip.
Where was the Knights Temple? Like, is that in England?
Over in Europe, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So that was that. Number two. It does.
F that man.
Mm-hmm. December 13th, 1916. Picture it. Sicily.
Is it actually?
Okay, not Sicily, but it is
Dang it.
actually Italy. It's World War I, and as if war isn't tragic enough, a series of devastating avalanches killed approximately 2,000 soldiers and civilians. This event is now known as White Friday, and it's commemorated every year there on December 13th.
Okay.
Think about it.
Whoa,
Horrible
hold on.
war going on.
I didn't know there were avalanches in Italy.
Like mountains that would have you know, I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea. Like, I don't know Italy's geography. Every time I see it in movies, it's these like rolling hills and in a Tuscan countryside. It's never like mountainous, really.
I thought
Yes,
Italy was surrounded by water.
a lot of it is, but where it meets the continent,
Who were they at war with?
and the mountains were.
It
It was World War I. If I get into that, that's an entire, not just an episode, but a whole series. Long story short, something about Italians and the Anglo-Hungarian, I don't know, lots of people, hung people
Katy.
died. Many hung men died in this tragedy.
Old women.
Women in the workplace? Oh, sorry.
Old women who re-explain World War One. I think that would be really funny because I know not a single thing about World War One. I can barely remember when World War Two happened.
Mm-hmm. I'm not good with history in general. I'm very bad with dates.
Wars are really hard for me because I don't specifically, not, sounds rude, I don't care because, like, I think we should all just love each other. So F the wars.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of war.
We are not.
What
we
is
do
it
not
good
stand.
for? Absolutely nothing.
So,
yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
White Friday.
I had never heard of it.
Do you think people wear white to remember them?
I was just picturing, like, people that wear white for the other thing.
Oh my god!
I was like, hope not. I don't know.
Like some sort of like tribute, like
Yeah,
maybe they put out white flowers.
Although that's kind of really like they died in an avalanche of
Wait.
snow, so wearing white, you think it's.
What if I just made a
distasteful.
whole circle? If it's called White Fridays,
Mhm.
you know how like when someone dies, they typically get white flowers.
Yeah.
Does that have to go with like the superstition of just like being unlucky? Like, what if it comes from White Friday?
There is a whole etiquette for colors of flowers and what giving a color of flower means to somebody. And then each species of flowers. So like roses are for love, this is for this is for that. Yeah. We can go over a little tidbit of that next time.
Sorry, I like.
No, you're okay.
That was something I was like, oh, maybe
Yeah,
that's
I don't
where
know
it comes
anything
from.
about that festival, to be honest. I just read, I had never heard of that. That's thousands of people dying. Do you know how many, that's one bad thing about this podcast is like, there's so much history that is tragic that I had never heard of. And we can blame our American education for that one, but also like, there's a lot of history. Just in general, there's so much history.
I'll be honest, the more we go over stuff, it actually trips me out because like we have been around for so long that like this
Not
stuff,
us. All some of us. Our knees say
but
that
it didn't happen that long ago.
Mhm.
Like in the grand scheme of things, 1913, that was not that long ago,
Mhm.
and like that's, I don't know, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? Someday, probably now, they teach about the 2000 things that happened. And we're like, yeah, we were alive. Like, imagine, like, that's how, like, older people feel since they've been in wars. And soon they'll die off.
Wow.
Oh, my coworker today, our favorite patient, we were kicking the soccer ball, and I was like, oh, that reminds me of my favorite lady.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, you know, someday, soon, she's gonna die, because she's older. And it made me so sad. And I was like, stop saying that. Like, you're putting it in the universe that she's gonna die.
We lose patients a lot at my job, too, and it's not...
It's so sad.
Yeah.
It just makes you wish that you could, like, see them one last time. Like, if you knew that was the last time that you were going to see them.
Ooh, I wish I know. I'm glad I don't know, because I would be way too emotional and sad. Like, I already get sad, but there's nothing I can do about it. Like, it's not like I could save them.
I think it would be fun because...
Just goes back to, if you knew the day you die, would you want to know? And I don't want to.
I wouldn't know when I would want to die. I'd love it if I knew when someone else was going to die. Because I could make things memorable. Like, make sure they had a good life.
We take way too much responsibility on ourselves. Like, being our own personal Make-A-Wish Foundation for someone... We don't have money for that. We don't have time for that. We got kids.
In a whole other world.
We got bronchitis.
Do we?
No, I'm okay at the moment.
Okay. Sorry.
Right.
Continue.
So this next one, this is the longest one that I've got. I really like, this was going to be my main topic for the whole episode tonight, but I kind of wanted to do more background about Friday the 13th, because that's what inspired me when I was doing my research. I was like, oh, Friday the 13th is coming up. That's cool. I get to do it. I get to record on a special day. And...
Jason. Friday the 13th?
Yes, there is the movie Friday the 13th with Jason Voorhees.
Is he like the serial killer that comes out on the 13th? And I've never seen it. I know nothing about Friday the 13th with the whole serial killer.
Stay tuned. I'm going to make patients watch Friday the 13th. It's just a slasher. The slinging slasher.
The lore.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this next thing is longer because you know me and I can't help myself with certain cases, especially when it comes to true crime.
Ooh.
Are you familiar with the term bystander effect or the phrase diffusion of responsibility?
I'm thinking. Sorry. I feel like I've heard it before.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I could, like, if I had to predict what it was like bystander, like, you have, like, the option to do something or not to do something. Like, out of, like, free will or, like, impulse.
Okay. You're on the right track. So, the bystander effect...
Like, if something happened to you,
mm-hmm.
I either have... Okay, like, step on your mama's back. Like, step on a crack. Like that. Like... Oh, hold on. No. I mean, level check.
Superstitious. Level check.
Supersticious. Okay.
There's like level check.
Oh. Yeah.
I think you're one.
One, or I might be picking two too. Because my gears are rolling. Okay, when you say... What is yours?
I thought you said my ears are rolling.
What number are you at?
0.75 to a 1. I'm up a little bit.
0.75.
Yeah, I'm going smaller and decimal.
So, you know how they go, like, step on a crack, break your mother's back?
Mm-hmm.
The bystander effect would be, like, you caused this, so it happens to somebody, right? Like, and then that's where you, like, think that it's your fault.
I think you're kind of combining the bystander effect with the butterfly effect a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So it's not so much about you causing something to happen, but it's like... If I'm swimming in a pool, right? Okay. And there's a child in the pool with all of us swimming around. Yeah, us in the pool. That'd be nice. Oh,
I wanted to
wait for our hot tub.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we gotta tell them. We'll tell them. Write the word down. You know what word you need to write.
Vacation.
Okay, we'll tell you guys at the end. Maybe if we remember. Otherwise, it'll be on the next episode. So, basically, it's like tons of people in a pool, and a kid starts to go under the water and drown. But then, like, everyone thinks he's fine, or thinks somebody else is helping him, or thinks he's just playing. Like a lot of people will be around, but they don't necessarily take action. So the bystander effect, maybe that's a bad example. There's a parade, a guy's getting beat up, and there's all these crowds, and there's a guy getting beat up kind of off in the corner somewhere, but like you kind of see it and you decide not to call 911 because you think somebody else must have. So it's like inaction from a group of people collectively because they all think, like, they don't think it's their responsibility. They think there's tons of other people and it's everyone else's responsibility, not just theirs. And they assume that someone else is going to do something.
There are people like that?
Tons. Like, people are naturally like that.
That is disgusting.
That's why, okay, woman, hear me out. As a mom, when the dog water bowl gets low and everybody in the house
thinks
hears
it just
the
magically
trickle. They think it just magically refills itself because they
Okay.
think, you know what, everybody else's job to feed the dogs and water the dogs. So why would we refill the water? That's like that.
I got
okay?
it. That's disgusting behavior.
Yes, I hate people. Whenever I see something like any sort of wrongdoing in the world, I'm this weird like trying to be a hero too much because I was taught this in school, like in high school even. They were like, no, you can't just be a bystander. It's not. Don't be the bystander effect. Like if you see something, say something. Boom. That's what you're talking about.
Whoa.
So this whole case is actually like a very big, it was spurred on tons of research regarding the bystander effect, okay?
Whoa, okay.
It was a pivotal moment in history that caused the term to be popularized. On March 13th, 1964, this woman...
That's really close to my face.
Sorry.
She's so pretty.
She is beautiful.
The dress she has on is so cute. Okay.
That woman, Katy Genovese, a beautiful 28-year-old bartender.
What year?
It was 1964.
Not that long ago, people.
Not that long ago. She was making her way home from the bar where she worked to her apartment in Queens, New York. She had been working the closing shift and was driving her red Fiat at about 3 a.m. when she caught the eye of a 29-year-old man named Winston Mosley. He got in his car and followed her to her destination. She was in an alleyway about 100 feet from the door of her building when Mosley attacked her from behind, stabbing her twice in the back with a hunting knife. Kitty screamed. She said, "Oh my God, he stabbed me, help me." And a neighbor even yelled out of his window for Mosley to leave her alone, and it spooked Mosley off. He ran. But injured, Kitty wandered away further out of view of witnesses, and she was still there in her weakened state 10 minutes later when Mosley came back to attack her again. He had put on a wide-brimmed hat and searched the whole area methodically until he found her, where she had collapsed in a hallway stuck behind a locked door. Warning? I know, it's like it gets worse from here. So you may want to skip ahead if you don't like bad things. So just everybody. He then proceeded to stab her several more times and rape her while she was bleeding out, and then robbed her of her $49 of hard-earned money. The entire ordeal lasted about half an hour total, and Katy Genovese had fought for her life, sustaining defensive wounds in the process. Kitty's close friend and 70-year-old neighbor, Sophia, found her there in the hall and held her, whispering, "Help is on the way." Unfortunately, Kitty did not make it to the hospital, and she died of asphyxiation from knife wounds to her lungs. Most heartbreakingly, Kitty's live-in girlfriend, Marianne, had been right nearby, and she simply just slept through the whole thing and didn't hear Kitty's screams. So, Winston Mosley.
Oh my God. That's actually so sad. You know what's even sadder? Okay, level check.
Level check.
I'm up there. 4,
Really?
maybe 5.
Dang.
Katie, I'm already at the point where I'm assessing. Like, you talking,
Aw.
I could literally, I almost feel like I was a bystander and I could, like, picture what you were just doing.
It's insane.
It's really creepy that I can do that. Whoa.
Winston Mosley.
You fucking asshole.
His eyes just look like soulless too. Just the way he's kind of.
Oh, Katie, we shouldn't have done a topic like this. I'm not thinking right tonight. God.
Oh, it's.
What
There's
was
just the look in his eyes. He's got this like very vacant
what
in all his mugshots.
My thing is like what was the purpose? What was that purpose? Why did you have to kill her? You know,
I'll get into that a little bit, but
Oh.
there's no good reason.
Is he
obviously?
he better be dead. if he's alive,
we're going after him.
Everyone, pack your backpacks. We're gonna go find this dude.
I like that. All right. Winston Moseley was actually married. He had 3 kids.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
His wife was a nurse. He had no criminal record at all. He apparently he was a bit of a necrophile. Okay. And he had this secret life where he would go out prowling for victims. And yeah.
So is she his first kill, or was it like he's done?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Apparently, some guy... So how he was caught is actually really, like, it's
insane.
Astounding. Yeah.
Okay.
So apparently some guy reported him as suspicious because Winston was seen stealing a TV. And when the police questioned him about that, one of the detectives, speaking of being lucky, thank heaven for this one single detective, happened to notice that Moseley's car matched the description of witnesses that had reported seeing that car at Genevieve's murder, at Katy's murder.
You know what's even more crazy? They didn't have, like, database back then. Like,
no,
it would be, like, a call-it-in.
Yes.
Or, like, if you could remember off the top of your head something
you
like
just
that,
happened to remember from the report that was when they were on the lookout for. So, a detective happened to notice it, told the other guys, was like, hey, that car, ask him about it. So, during questioning, the police were like, what's up? This your car? This you? Moseley confessed to the entire thing. He confessed to the murder of Katy Genevieve. He then also confessed, I feel bad if I'm mispronouncing her name, I'm so sorry. I also then confessed to not me. I didn't do it, I still maybe I'm a 1.5. He also then confessed to raping and murdering 2 other women and committing between 30 and 40 burglaries.
What?
Yep. Although I read that he wasn't even convicted for the other women, so I don't know if it's that they couldn't find enough evidence or that they didn't want to put the victims' families through trial because he was already in jail, and why drag them through that ordeal.
Oh my God.
You will be very pleased to hear Winston Moseley died in prison.
Someone killed him. Please.
I don't think so.
He probably deserved it.
On March 28th, 2016.
What?
He died at the age of 81 in prison, and he is one of the longest living prison inmates. Yeah.
Did he like get life? Obviously, life in prison. Like
he did. So he got. I can't remember if Kitty's sentence was life in prison. He actually got convicted for more after he was in prison because he escaped.
What?
And attacked 2 other women.
Dude, fuck this
guy. And then he got caught again, and then he was in an Attica prison riot.
Where was he? Do you know what prison he was in?
In Attica at one point. But I don't know.
Dude, F him.
Good riddance.
Get him out of here.
Now, do you remember the bystander effect of the whole thing? What?
I just thought of something that Chris says. When he wants to, like, say, like, not a nice thing to somebody, he'll be like, see you next Tuesday. And cunt. He's calling someone a cunt.
I know what that means.
Oh, okay. Well, for people who didn't know, I think, too, so I was just sitting here thinking, I'm like, whatever we just said, and I was like, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, Winston, if that is your name.
Chris, you're creeping into the episodes. Creep. I'll continue. Sorry, I just thought about the thing I circled.
Oh, I'm so excited. All right. So you remember the whole bystander effect of the thing? Well, this case drew attention nationally because the New York Times spoke with police, and the police had reported that, the New York Times reported that 37 witnesses heard or saw the attack in some way and did nothing to help. 37. Some reports said that was actually inaccurate and it was supposed to be 38. They did research going back and someone said no, it was almost 50 people. Then there was more research that said 20 people. So take all that with a grain of salt. Even if it were 3 people that heard it, 2 people, 1 person that heard it, and if they didn't take action,
okay,
that's still a bystander. It's still a problem.
I think that is crazy. Okay, I'm going to tell you a situation that I had that's like this.
Okay.
So
I am really confused on what possibly could be like this.
Oh, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I first started working at the hospital, like in the old town we used to work at or live in,
Yeah.
You know? It was like my second or third day being there.
Mm-hmm.
And our corner where we lived was very sharp. So, like, people, like, never, like, it was, no one ever stopped on this corner. And one day, there was a car in front of me, and then I was behind it, and this kid, they ended up dropping their change. He was holding his little sister's hand. He was 10, and she was, like, 4. Like, she couldn't talk yet. She dropped her change in the road, so he went to go pick it up, and the car in front of me ran over him. And then I almost ran over him, but I stopped, you know, because I'm not stupid. And my adrenaline makes me think, okay, we gotta, like, go. I remember
there was, like, a whole group of people just standing there.
All around. And, like, someone had called 911, thank God. But the rest literally just stood there and watched. And I remember, like, they saw that I worked at the hospital. Like, not that I knew what I was doing, but I was like, we can't move him. I was like, because if he has, like, something wrong with his spinal cord, we shouldn't be moving him because we didn't have, like, a C-collar. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so no one touch him. So I was like, can I, like, have your jacket? Because he had a jacket on. So I, like, put that underneath his neck just to hold his head up or, like, support his neck.
Even though you're not supposed to do that. So that's fine.
I did that, and I remember people were like, should we move him? Should we move him? And I was like, no, like, just let him stay here. And I just sat there, and I was, like, trying to talk to him, and you could, like, barely hear him. And, like, these people, like, just, I remember everyone just, like, was like that, like, actually staring down. And I'm just, like, no one, like, there was, like, one other person who said, call 911. No one else, like, that would come up.
Was the mom, like, freaking out?
She wasn't there. She let her kids walk down to the store by themselves.
Oh.
So these women were, like, watching the little girl, and they were like, do you know where you live? And she shook her head yes, and they wandered, like, blocks to try to find where they lived, and they never did. So finally, like, people, like, it's just like that. There were so many people that I remember who did not do anything.
That happened. That's so terrifying and sad.
And
but then you just gotta act like everything's okay for him and be like, it's okay, you know.
And I just remember so many people that just stood there, like, and just watched, or, like, they would just, because it was such a popular, like, corner.
What was the driver that hit him? What did that driver do?
So he was an older man, and the kid did drop his coins. Like, the officer, like, had asked me, like, was he, like swerving, because I had followed him for a little while, and I was like, no, like, it just happened, like, out of the blue.
He just ran right out in front of the car.
And this guy, I remember they took the boy on the ambulance right up the street to where I worked, and I just sat there because I had to give a witness statement, and this old man, we're talking old, like, early 80s.
Bald. No.
And I remember he was at his car. And I have never seen an old man, like, full on cry.
Aww.
And it was so sad.
Yeah.
And I'm just, like, standing there because he's alone. It's just us.
Okay.
And I was like, it's okay. I was like, accidents happen. And he's like, he just kept, like, replaying the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was so sad. And he was like, it's my fault. It's my fault. Like, and he actually thought, like, the kid, I remember he didn't come up because I think he was just in such shock that he just ran a kid over. And he's like, what if he dies? What if he dies? Like, I killed a kid. And he's, like, spiraling. And, like, we're like, accidents happen. You couldn't have, like, prevented it. Like, it just happens. It's unfortunate. It's unlucky. And, like, this officer was like, I just need you to sit down and calm down. Because this guy just was going nuts.
Well, let's get you from sad to mad again. We're going to get you back on the mad track.
So, the bystander effect.
Do you need the evil boom?
No, I just did some.
Oh.
But the bystander effect, I definitely get it. I feel like I've experienced it firsthand, and I'm just like...
Okay, not quite the same, but also very relevant, 100%.
Just the people that don't do anything.
Yeah.
We're advocating that you need to do something.
Do something. If you see something, say something. People.
Don't suck.
Yeah. Yeah. Earwax? All right. Blah, 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 blah. I said that. Don't mind them.
I got us way off subject.
No, we're right back on. Fine. So after this whole article came out, psychologists had a field day researching and examining how so many people can be a part of something like that, and yet no one stepped up to save her. Ironically, after gaining the national attention that it had, the article was actually found out to be filled with inaccuracies, and at least 2 people did indeed call the police when it happened. But Kitty she wasn't found in time. So apparently this big issue was that the building she was in had like a lot of dark or hard to see places, and she just happened to be out of the sight of most everyone else. I mean, and it was 3 a.m. too. Like, most people were in bed. The few people that weren't, like, it was night. It was.
I do believe the term phrase that is, patience, you're high.
I do believe in that term phrase as well.
wrong place, wrong time.
Yes.
I feel like that's actually very accurate. I don't think it's like superstitious. I just think you just are unfortunate, and there are things like that that just happen. And no one could have prevented it. I just tried to adjust
glasses that I'm not wearing, so I've got that going for me. Well, yeah, her apartment was definitely, it was bad twists and turns, and you were right. There were just so many people that they heard it and they didn't realize she was screaming for help, or they thought it was just a couple arguing. It's that people dismissed it because they either didn't hear it or they did hear it and it didn't sound to them like the emergency that it was. There's also arguments that say that because the injuries to her lungs were so severe, it prevented her from even being able to produce that much noise. So even though she yelled out initially, who knows if there was any noise after that people could really even hear. Regardless, the case is still used to this day to describe the bystander effect phenomenon. One legitimately good outcome of this tragedy, though, is that a couple years later, New York City finally implemented a 911 system, something that could very well have saved Kitty's life. But it did spur them because people had called in the police, but there was
Kitty,
no 911. Not just her, but she was a big part of it. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Poor Kitty. I would be, if I were her girlfriend and I just had I slept through someone literally messaging me when they were dying. One of my close friends, one of my ex-family members. My close friend, my ex. No. She was messaging me, and she had been like messaging me about this cold she had, and she was like, "Oh, my chest hurts," and she was found passed away the next morning. And I slept through that. I slept through a text, and just that little blip, not the same thing, but like if something happened to one of my kids or family members right there 100 feet away from my door, I didn't hear it, I just slept through it. I would never be able to sleep again. Basically, I just
PTSD, yeah.
All right, so that is that, and then I have one more thing I'm going to talk about, and then we'll wrap up. One more. Let's do a quick level check before we talk about this next little blip bit. Level check.
Level check.
I'm a 2.5, I think. 3, if that.
5 or 6.
I'm jealous,
I'm
and
snack time.
Feeling like once I get snacky, it's going to be great. All right. One final and more recent example I'll give tonight as evidence of the Friday the 13th curse is the Costa Concordia cruise ship disaster that took place on January 13th, 2012. Now, when I read about this, I did not remember it. Like, I vaguely remembered it, but then I couldn't decide if I was making up the memory that I remembered it. But this incident, excuse me, to simplify the last one, I have ripped information straight off of Wikipedia and will be directly quoting it for sense.
Oh my gosh, our last episode where we were Australian.
No, I can't do that again. All right. On Wikipedia, straight from the horse's mouth. Because your girl was running low on time and brain cells. I think I'm definitely a 3 now that I say it. Now that I'm talking, the more I'm talking, the more I'm like losing my track.
The cruise ship.
The ship was, quote, on the first leg of a cruise around the Mediterranean Sea when it deviated from its planned route at Isola del Giglio, Tuscany, in order to perform a sail-by salute. They sailed closer to the island than intended and struck a rock formation on the seafloor. This caused the ship to list and then to partially sink, landing unevenly on an underwater ledge. Although a 6-hour rescue effort brought most of the passengers ashore, 32 people died. 27 passengers and 5 crew. A member of the salvage team also died following injuries received during the recovery operation. An investigation focused on shortcomings in the procedures, followed by Costa Concordia's crew and the actions of her captain, Francesco Schettino, who left the ship prematurely. You're not supposed to abandon your own ship, Captain. That's not on Wikipedia. Cut that out. He left about 300 passengers on board the sinking vessel, most of whom were rescued by helicopter or motorboats in the area. Schettino was found guilty of manslaughter and sentenced to 16 years in prison, unquote.
Deserved it.
I feel like involuntary man. I feel like, yes, he deserves some sort of jail sentence. 16 years, I don't know.
But if you... Okay.
He did ignore alarms that were going off that said, he's like, I've done this before. I did it 3 or 4 times. I know the waters. And then he ignored the alarms and had them
like,
off.
I feel like 16 years is pretty good. Fuck him. So he's
We're
still
on
in
the
there.
warpath to everybody. Is he alive? We're going to put water in his cell. That was bad. But on a side note, you need to watch freaking Titanic because
No! I know
it's running a sad night anyway. It's fine.
No!
I guess it's hard for me to understand. I would need to see like a AI reenactment or a video reenactment. It's hard for me to understand how people die in things like this because realistically, like, so the gasket was about like 150 feet long when it hit the ship. And it hit the engine compartments and all these important things, and it shut down all the ship's electrical systems and just crashed the whole thing. But, like, in my head, in my brain, it's hard to picture how fast the water rushes to prevent me from just running away from it and swimming up and out of it. Like, that's the part that my brain has a hard time comprehending. Like,
the thing that
if I got submerged by the water, wouldn't I know just to swim to the door and go up and up?
What if...
Or, like,
but
how quickly does it fill is my question.
But there's also people who don't know how to swim. Maybe there's people that have a harder time getting upstairs. I
mean, yeah, there's that. There's people that were sleeping and didn't get out in time. There's people that, like, furniture maybe floated and blocked the door. Like, I know, like, with Titanic or cruise ships or any ships where people drown, like, I know how random ways people can die, but in my head, I'm like, I obviously would survive. I'd get out of this. I would know what to do. Like, I watched Titanic and I was like, I would have ripped wooden furniture apart and started to build boats when I saw that there weren't enough boats. Like, I'm sitting here thinking that I would survive this, and it's this weird ego in me that doesn't understand how people die in these accidents. And I think the reason is every time I see the cruise ships, they look like they're moving at the rate of like a snail. And I'm like, okay, when the ship's moving so slow, it's hard for me to picture the water rushing emergency in that moment.
I guess I would have to see how the ship crashed to like understand.
Like obviously there were people everywhere, so some of them would be casualties. I don't know. I just don't.
What if someone was like cooking and then, oh, well, that's another instance. Yeah.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe my issue is because of the Titanic movie reenactment. The water, like, it fills up quick, but it also, to me, doesn't fill up quick enough for me to be drowning on the ship. Like, it feels like we should all be able to move up out of the anthill. I don't know.
Okay, so this is my thing. I don't know how it flipped. That's the part that's, like, a little confusing to me, but wherever...
Like, it took on water and it tipped.
Okay.
It tipped because the water was filling one area of the boat where it struck.
I know it's slowly, like, at the beginning, it is slow. Mm-hmm. Right? So I think whoever, like, is down there probably got out. But then as it's sinking, the water pushes in faster because all the air is coming out.
Oh, like the water that it takes on increases more and more and more per minute.
Yeah,
because
and
of
it's like rushing even faster.
Because of the opening up more, and then the water just weighs
because
down.
Because the pressure that comes from the ocean itself.
That's a really smart theory.
Look at me go.
Look at you.
Because I believe that, like, you know how, like, if you fill a cup and it's, like, starting to go underwater, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if you were to put an empty cup in, like, a sink full of water and you slowly pull down on it, it starts to trickle in. And then all at once, it'll, like, just gulp all the water and it'll go, whew. Mm-hmm. I think it's just like that.
I think that sounds very interesting. I like your theory. I think it has merit. I am definitely an expert in the subject.
We get gold stars.
You get the goldest of stars. The goldenest, the golden girl stars.
I love that.
All right. Despite all of this, all of these horrible things in history that have happened, I'm not going to lie. I still want to go on a cruise.
I do not. No.
Nope. Come on. If we went on a cruise, where would you want to go?
To the shortest destination and back. Which is what, like the Bahamas?
These people died 100 meters away from land. That's what kills me. It's like, you were right there.
Do you know my grandmother doesn't know how to swim? Isn't that crazy?
I'm not surprised. My mom doesn't know how to swim either. She's a fear. A fear of the water. With all the tragedy and disaster surrounding Friday the 13th, I have decided to end our entire subject with a positive quote from one of my favorite magazines, Mental Floss, that both of us can appreciate.
Is it actually from Mental Floss?
Yes. This is a quote from Mental Floss that I'm ending with.
Is it something you like? What?
I like it. It's a positive quote from Mental Floss. So despite all the reasons we should hate Friday the 13th, okay?
Okay.
The quote is, to counter all of this undue hatred of the poor number 13, here's one reason to love it. A baker's dozen. Extra donut. Full circle. Donut.
Donut. Today's National Donut Day.
Yes.
Why did we get donuts?
I don't know, but it's a perfect segue into snack time. Yeah.
Let me talk about your topic really quick. I really enjoyed it. I liked I think this, not a you issue, it's a me issue. When I listen to you tell your story, sometimes I get so invested that it's hard for me to like interrupt you and ask questions because I'm like,
when I was talking about
to, like,
Kitty's tale, you seemed to be very like in it.
Yeah.
And I noticed you weren't talking, but I was like, I'm just going to pause and see if she wants to say anything. Okay, we're going to keep going.
So I feel like this...
I'm getting handsy.
Get handsy with me.
Ow. It backfired.
So I think that because you did so many different things within this one subject, it really kept me like engaged.
Okay.
Like I didn't know what you were going to say next, and I love that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why, like, when I did, like, the did you know questions, I liked that it was more of, like, okay,
kind of
what's next?
your brain going.
Like, now think about this.
Like, we don't go into the zoning out rabbit trails as much because we're so, like, never do this.
Now we're talking about something new. Like, I like that. I think it just is really good for us. Where, not that I don't mind our normal topics where we could talk about a subject for long, like my next one. I get it. I get it. So I really enjoyed it. I think you did a really good job. I think this will be a fun episode to listen to.
Oh, thank you. I was worried. There were a lot of different things that happened. One thing that is a big event in history that I had never heard of, that's going to be my next topic because I really liked learning about it.
Isn't it fun to just find, like, for me now, a lot of my TikToks and pictures, like, on Instagram are like, did you know this? And then I'm like, no, I didn't know this.
But I'm going to learn about it, and I got to tell everybody.
I was like, well, my first thought is, I got to tell Katie about it. Yeah. And so I have, like, our long list of, like, things we want to talk about with each other.
So we'll catch up with things we want to talk about 50 years from now when we get to all the podcast episodes.
We're going to
People, make us famous so we can do this more often.
So let's double check before we go to snack time.
Yours was very stiff. It was like, check.
I was feeling my elbow.
Oh.
I'm at a 7. I'm at a good snack time.
Oh, I think I'll get there once I get a snack. So I'm a level 4, I think. I'm getting up there.
I do. My theory still stands that when you are the one who is presenting the topic, you do not get as high as the other person.
Yes, I think it has to do with your adrenaline.
Adrenaline.
I'm Amazon.
It just something in your body just makes you not get as high as fast. And it's really weird. And so then at snack time, we have to catch each other up.
Because we have jobs to do. We all got jobs to do. Beth. Walking Dead. Walking Dead, full circle. It has to do with my next topic.
What? Mm-hmm. Funnily enough, there's a guy, patient at my work.
Oh, wait. We're going to go to snack time. We're going to keep talking about we're going to snack. Boop. What?
No.
No.
Pecan! We just pecans with that, Katie!
Wait! First of all, definitely 5 now. Ow! Secondly...
Oh my god!
We gotta do it. Pecan? No.
No, the moment's gone. Okay. Hi, we're back for snack time.
Hello.
Patience is the conductor today.
Yes, it's
Chugga
nice
chugga.
being a passenger on this wonderful train.
It's so inappropriate.
I'm the conductor. Joking. For the first time I hear Miss Dribbles wanted to make a special appearance.
Did you just see the bug that just came at me?
Are you sure it wasn't the ghost orb from earlier?
No, it was definitely a big, like, moth. Oh my
no, it wasn't. It was a ghost orb. I already deleted that clip, too, that referenced that. It's fine.
Okay.
All right.
So, snack time ratings.
Snack time ratings. You have your list.
Our winner for tonight. Should I go through all of them?
Start with the lowest.
The lowest one we had
Cheez-Its.
was the white cheddar Cheez-Its.
Too dry.
Very dry.
Flavor was good after. Is it intensified?
Pecans.
Oh, I thought you missed that we pecans,
No.
and so I didn't do it. You just were so smooth. I wasn't ready for you. Okay. I'm so embarrassed. Stop it. Just keep going.
Our next equal, 5 out of 10 was we have a fruit tray with some mixed fruit, and then we had a zebra cake. About 5.
About the same. Both had benefits and drawbacks. The fruit was hit or miss depending on the fruit.
And Katie only tried this, but she had a veggie tray.
Mm-hmm.
She rated it 6 out of 10.
For the vegetables and the dip. But patient said, she was like, I'm putting dip in there too. And I was like, but not the dip. It's just the vegetables.
Okay, I'm marking that down. Psychotic. I love you.
We'll get a special therapist couch, and instead of playing horrible therapists, we'll like act out being horrible therapists for each other for like Patreon video.
Yes.
We need to get it's called a chaise lounge.
Oh my god, yes. Genius.
Therapist couch. Writing it down.
And then after that, I made homemade cookies the other day. 7 out of 10. But
yeah, they were good.
Tonight's winner. Katie made Korean beef and rice. 9 out of 10. We have our normal pizza that we normally eat.
Mm-hmm. That's cooling on the counter.
And then pretzel guns we will have later. Mm-hmm. We can't forget about the pretzel guns.
I don't think I can have pretzel gun. Girl. What happened?
One slice of pizza then, and then you can have a pretzel gun.
But the pizza. I guess that'll depend on how good it tastes. Katie, calm down.
You could have half of a
That looks
pretzel.
like a sunset. It looks really pretty. Doesn't it?
Obsessed.
We're on the beach, patience. Hang on. Wait, can you take a picture of that so we can post it? Not now.
Okay.
Later.
Later.
Responsible posting.
I have our next subject, so we're going to talk about our vacation we are taking.
Maybe we should start calling these hamster hands.
I know. Play with your eggs.
Right here? Quit hitting on me tonight.
So,
we talked about snack time.
Our yurt. We're going to talk about our yurt.
We
booked a yurt. It's great.
I'm so excited. We have an Airbnb for a fancy yurt in Colorado.
We're going to the Black Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to visit one of our friends.
Yeah, we're going to see our friend Kat. Shout out Kat.
Kat, we love you.
Love you. Who we actually gummy buddied with in the Rockies last year. Oh, we want to be back. Full peaks.
And then what else?
We are planning on bringing our pod equipment. We're going to do a pod in the yurt.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do one in the yurt since we did. Oh,
we don't know how it works. We'll have to, we can just bring the camera along. And
you know what I'm really sad about?
Yeah. No, I don't.
We didn't record an episode when we were in Colorado.
I know. We talked about it. But then we were like, no, that's like business. This is for pleasure. This is just for us, a special.
I have a genius idea.
Lay it on me. I just saw a bug attack you again. No, the orbs. That's what we're calling them now. Every moth.
We are going to continue doing Gummy Buddies.
Yeah.
And every year.
Sorry, I feel like I have cream beef.
One of our episodes will be our girls trip, and it'll be our new tradition of girls trip. So when we record this one in the yurt,
yes,
we're going to label it Girls Vacation 1.
And that's our anniversary.
We're going to make something special out of it. We'll do like some special content on it because that'll be our special
yurtversary. Genius. And technically, maybe we'll become successful and we can become an LLC and then be able to write it off as a business expense. Because it's for our business.
Genius. There's a bug. Orbs.
Orb.
What were we doing? Okay, so after that,
we did the yurt talk, and now we're gonna do something for the first time. Leaving out. Did I bring my phone? Yes, I did. Okay. We're going to do Reddit. We're gonna kind of scroll Reddit, and tonight we're reading the Am I the A-hole subreddit. So we each picked one from there, and
we did.
We're gonna read it and react to it. I don't know. I know other people do that, but we think it's fun. So suck it,
nerds.
Yeah. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I don't care.
I'll read. No, you read, because I've been talking.
So I am doing Am I Overreacting? I did that similar subreddit. Not a subreddit.
It's a subreddit.
Whatever. I'm not a Redditor. Reddit-y?
Redditor.
I like Reddit-y. It's like employee, but Reddit.
Reddit.
Mine is... Am I overreacting for refusing to let my wife's work husband come on our family vacation? My wife, 34 female, and I, 36 male, have been married 8 years, 2 kids together. She recently started a new job where she's gotten really close to one of her coworkers. She calls him her work husband.
Mm-hmm.
And says it's all a joke and office banter. Nothing serious. I mean...
How long have they worked together?
They've been together... They just says the couple's been together for 8 years.
Doesn't say how long the guys worked there.
No.
That would be a factor for me. If he was very new, then definitely why would she invite him on the vacation? But if it was like, oh, I've worked with him for 20 years, 15 years, and by then he should be just a family friend. That if he's any friend, it depends on if the guy hangs out with him at all or knows him at all or spent time with him at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, if my work family, like my girls, Jess and Julie, they... Like, not that we would vacation together, but, like, my family knows them because I talk about them all the time. So it's like, they get along with my family. You know what I'm saying? So if the guy is a friend of the husband,
okay,
it's more tolerable and it makes sense.
Okay.
But if he doesn't know him at all...
Interesting factor.
What do you think?
Not that. Not that.
We're on different tracks.
I would not, with that paragraph alone... I know, like, a family vacation, I don't think should include your, like, work, anything work-related, even if he's, like, family, friend, whatever.
I agree with that.
It's a family vacation. I wouldn't. That'd be so weird.
And you can't fully relax and be yourself if it's a work friend either. Like, not that they don't know you, but it's just different. I don't know. Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards no, it's reasonable for you to not invite this person. It's weird that you're pushing to invite them.
Like, okay.
There's also different special circumstances, though. Say he was married and his wife recently died and he was really lonely. And she's like, come on, it'll make his day. Let him come on vacation with. So say there was
maybe there's like a situation between the two.
Yeah, where it's like she has sympathy for him and is trying to include him out of
That's a good
pity
one.
Or...
I like that.
It's fine, Patience.
Did you get it?
It's like yeah.
Bugs. So,
if I was on the camera, let's figure out what bug that was. It looked cute.
At first, I brushed it off, but over time, she started texting him outside work hours, laughing at his jokes constantly, and even FaceTiming him once we were on a weekend trip with our kids. I finally told her it was getting weird, and she told me to stop being insecure. Ooh. I feel like that's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, if he's uncomfortable with it because you're spending too much, like, attention to him, then you should, like, request what he wants, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Last week, she asked if he could come with us on our summer vacation to the lake house. She said he has no family around and could use a break. I said, absolutely not. This is our family time, and I don't want some random guy tagging along, especially someone she flirts with all day.
Mm-hmm.
She got mad and said I was being controlling. Her exact words were, "I'm not even allowed to have friends now?" I told her it's not about our friends, it's about boundaries, and she's still mad and says I'm embarrassed by her by making a big deal out of nothing.
I get that.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're the asshole.
Oh. Sorry.
Or, no, this wasn't an asshole one. I don't think you're overreacting.
Pecans, murder, pecans, overreacting. Wait, what if he... That was pretty freaking spot on. If I do say so myself, and I do say so.
And I do say so.
So I think we should try and also repeat it in the same exact tone, too. Like, like mimic the exact... Not
I
only
always
the word...
do.
Oh, you
I always
do?
try.
I've never tried to match the exact tone, just the word.
Yeah, I
was one step behind you on that.
It's okay. Now that you're up to
Now
speed.
that I'm up there, we're gonna pecans all harder. Yeah. All right. So I picked from the "Am I the A-hole" subreddit. I'm looking at my lips a lot. I'm doing the. Why do we put this crap on the internet? Username Mimisk48 asks, I caught my husband filming us during sex. Last night we were having sex and really got into it. We changed positions, he was behind, and I noticed a light source. I was trying to ignore it, going with the flow, but I couldn't ignore it and turned my head. My husband was holding his phone, fully recording the act. I realized what he was doing and said, "What are you doing?" He just threw his phone down and continued. After that, I just wasn't into it anymore. Anyway, he finished, and I can't stop thinking about it. I feel really upset and insecure about this. There's no consent around filming. It is absolutely not my thing. Why record? Is there something behind this? Is this normal? Am I overthinking?
So is this, am I the asshole still? Like, in that sense?
Yeah, that's
okay.
the question. Like, is she the a-hole? No! There's not, she's not yeah, this should be in the am I overreacting. But anyways, it wasn't. He's the one totally in the wrong.
Boundaries.
Never, ever, 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 unless she expressly gave her permission for you prior to you getting, at any point in your married life or while you were dating, did she ever give you permission to do that? No? Then no. Not until you ask her.
The sneaky thing is what's even more disgusting.
Well, I don't even know if it was sneaky, because if he's literally holding the phone while he's doing her, how can you hide that, like, while you're doing the deed right there? That's not... Like, I don't know if he was trying to hide it, which makes it more threatening.
That's true.
I don't know. Maybe he thought it might be a kink she was into from some porn he saw she was reading about or something. I don't know. Regardless, no, you're not overthinking. He was totally in the wrong, because you got to think about it from different angles. Like, say he was doing it for, like, revenge porn and recording you to, like, use it against you and blackmail you, then... That's bad, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then, sorry, my train, it's like on the rails, but it's like about to go off the rails. So he could do the revenge porn thing, or if he was trying to, like, film me because it's a kink of his, but he's not doing that with consent, so that's not okay either. Like, I'm trying to think of a good... Oh, Katie, you had a really smart, sober person thought, and then it left, and now you're just here rambling.
I'm listening to you ramble.
Thank you. I'm glad.
I know future Katie is going to be like, God, I talk a lot.
This is what I meant to say. Okay. Let me just start reading the comments. Okay?
Yeah.
I suggest you ask him instead of Reddit. You two obviously need to have a conversation. Makes sense. I agree.
Yeah.
She's not overreacting. Like, I don't think you can underreact to something like that.
Yeah.
Katie, you're so high. Okay. Wish more people did this on... this instead. Never mind. Reading a response to a response. I can't. There's too many words on this.
Staring at a screen is kind of hard, though, when you're high.
It is. Words.
That's why we like the movies.
Side note, I don't like the way Reddit's, like, collapsible comments work. Because sometimes it's hard for me.
Is it hard for you?
Hard for me.
Oh my gosh, Kate.
Or he could have been doing it for porn to sell, not just revenge porn, but to sell for profit. I'm circling back here.
Can I tell you something amazing? Oh. Our time that we were recording? I was like, 2 hours? That's great. We've been here for that long.
Snack time.
Yeah.
That's
totally
okay.
Forgot.
We're still going. We're going good. I wouldn't mind doing one more of those. Actually, do you want to do one more?
Sure. Okay, so we're gonna start on our next one.
Yes.
I'm going to go first again. I don't know what am I overreacting? God, pull it together.
I'm cold a little.
This is really about if my friend is overreacting.
Okay.
She went off on a guy for not telling her that he had a micro penis before they were about to have sex. Did she overreact? Do you feel like a woman has a right to know how big the penis size is?
Absolutely not. It is the man's private. That'd be like a guy asking you your cup size. You know, no, it's nobody's business.
Disgusting.
It's your body. And if you don't like, give a person a chance to use the tool before you judge it. Freaking titled stupid people. I'm so cold.
So that was the title.
Okay.
The story goes, my homegirl, female 34, told me she went off on someone she was seeing, male 31. Went off on someone. Oh, the words are starting to get harder.
Ouch. It's fine.
Because she was pissed he didn't tell her that he had a micropenis before they were about to have sex. One of the things she said, and I quote, "What's the point of us having sex if I ain't gonna feel shit?" And also, small? I asked her if she actually said those things, and she was adamant she 100% did. From what she told me, he was a gym rat, attractive, and sweet. I tried to put myself in the guy's shoes, and I felt bad for him. And I know he felt like shit from the stuff she was saying and how she reacted. Did she overreact? Should she have told her what was going on before they were about to sleep together? I don't think he needed to say anything. Like, that's his own business.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think you shouldn't say those things to somebody. Like, if they do have one or not. Like, it's not something you can change, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think... I think she overreacted.
I've thought about like 60 things while you're talking.
Oh, look, you're getting too comfy.
And I'm too far back from the microphone.
Wow, Katie, look, eat your own words now.
I'm so cold.
Oh, suck it up, Buttercup.
While you were doing that, I remember what I assessing. The porch being completely built for the back deck, and a hot tub, like hearing like hot tub bubble across the other side of this wall, and hearing the way the water like echoes in the corner.
Ooh,
of
I'm
the
gonna
house.
assess our girls trip.
Costorbs.
The bubbles.
Yes. The being in the like. Imagine if after every episode, our tradition was to get in the hot tub from like.
I love that.
Yeah, and I'm assessing having that.
Do you want to do your last one?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm enjoying getting cozy. Am I the a-hole for telling my niece that she cannot have a slice of my daughter's pizza? It's right up our alley. We're experts on this crap. We went out to eat at a pizza place to celebrate my niece's 9 dance recital. They ordered a large cheese pizza to share, and my wife and I ordered a small cheese specifically for our daughter, 2. My niece asked if she could have a slice of ours. I said no and explained that we got it just for her because it's easier for her to hold. So if we get her... because it's easier for her to hold and eat. My daughter is a picky eater, so if we get her something we'll know she'll eat, we want to make sure that she can. My niece immediately started bawling, and 30 minutes later, my sister gave her a slice of our pizza. No apology, didn't ask this time, and refused to say thank you. I understand that she is a child, but she is never told no and gets what she wants eventually anyway.
Ooh.
Am I the a-hole? No, I'm on your side, buddy. That's your niece's little spoiled brat.
Yeah.
She gets dance lessons, which, sorry, that makes you pretty friggin' spoiled. So her daughter's at a dance recital. She has her entire extended family there at the dance recital. Second mark of spoiling. Then you got the frickin' fact that she started throwing a fit to begin with. And then you got the fact that the fit lasted 30 minutes.
Ugh.
And then then the mom gives her what she wants anyway after 30 minutes without even, wham bam, thank you ma'am, take your pizza, be a brat.
Stupid. Yeah.
I don't know why am I fanning my phone?
I don't know.
I'm trying to stay focused.
So those were our little topics. I think this was like a good fun segment that we could just chill out and vibe to.
What did you think?
Oh. You didn't have any comments about the last one. I did either. Maybe
we suck.
My footages. I said I agree. Like, F.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're overreacting.
Yeah.
Or I don't think you are.
Yeah, there's reasons you ordered your pizza. You're the one that paid for your pizza.
You're a child.
And you already said no. So your sister's a brat because she doesn't know how to respect your opinion on it either. Everyone's a brat. You're all brats. Never mind.
Brats.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa.
That was nice. I enjoyed this episode despite me having to sacrifice certain parts of my topic. Sorry, I kicked you.
It's okay.
If you want more content like this, you can check us out at Gummy Buddies Podcast at TikTok, Instagram, YouTube,
all the stuff. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
We're
a
on
robot.
the everything. Oh, we are. GummyBuddiesPodcast.com should be up and running as soon as I grow a brain. I have one in the fridge. Ow. You can check us out at patreon.com/GummyBuddiesPodcast. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to go ahead and end. Wait! People get to see it. Hang on. All right. All right. I would like to end this episode with a toast to the tiny little strawberries that are growing on my planter outside in front of the house. You make me so happy, and every time I see one of you, I think I spent $2.75 on this plant, but at least you're making me smile. Here's to you, those little strawberries.
You go, strawberries.
Thank you.
I love that. I like how you're like my mouth.
It's my drink.
Oh, what would my toast be? Mine's always stupid and random, and I make something off on the fly with like the first word that pops in my head.
No, no, the one you make up with is the thank you.
Oh no, I also do this one.
Yeah.
When we do toast, I can't think.
That's
of
why I
anything.
told you could pre-do this one and then make up. Like
That's
toast
what you
could be
said
pre-done.
earlier.
Yeah.
I don't listen.
I know. That's I don't either. It's fine.
Here's to the friends.
Unicorn. Sorry.
Okay. Here's to the universe. For the twin flame. I wouldn't want to be a twin flame with anyone else.
You're here. I am going to. Yes. And here's to you. Thank you so much for listening. You forgot it. Thank you so much for listening.
We hope that you get your exact Taco Bell order.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That was the way we're doing it again. And thank you for being our Gummy Buddies. You did so good.
I love you.
I love you too.